You are in the Warriors Huddle with me, Bram, no Marcus or Maxine today, but I am fired up to announce that rejoining me after way too long, the host of the pre and post game for the Golden State Warriors, the new multi-platform star for NBC Sports Bay Area, a man who talked me into predicting 50 wins for this dub season, and your new sports mayor for the Bay Area, Mr. Bonta Hill. What's going on, Bonta?
I love that I talked you into believing that the Warriors would win the 50 games when I could have sold you on 60 wins, you would have bought it.
Don't you worry
You're
about
the
that.
most optimistic Warrior fan I know. Every
Here's what I
win is
know.
like, oh, we're going to be champions. Every loss, oh, man, I don't even know if we're going to make the play in. I mean, great introduction, man. You made me feel good, man. But, star, come on.
I mean, there's a so you are already you're throwing a bunch of cats and you're asking me to herd them all back here, and I will. Ready? One, I was ready to have like a down season till I heard you as a radio host, as the face of the Golden State Warriors, breathing optimism out into the world. I accepted it. And it's a better place now, but there was a time I resented you for that 50 win shit. And the
Oh,
star thing, dude, I feel like we have a ringside seat to this meteoric rise. I start recording with you. You're on a different station, kind of a different profession. I talk to you now. You're everywhere. I'm trying to watch the NBA All Star game. All I see is Bonta Hill everywhere, interviewing fucking Kenny the Jet. Dude, big things from you, Bonta.
I appreciate that, man. It's been fun to see people. I don't change for anybody. I don't get all big time and just forget about my boys, man. I'm loyal to the soil, loyal to the Warriors Huddle podcast. Let's go. I mean, no, it was a lot of fun though, Bram. It's been it's been a hell of a ride. I don't take it for granted, man. So for everybody who's always listening and supporting this podcast and or supporting me or what I do on television or radio, I truly, truly, truly appreciate it, man. I felt so much love over the last 2.5 weeks and so many thank yous. Thank you, Bonte, for this. Thank you. No, 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 no. The hell with that. Thank you. Thank you for always listening and supporting and always dropping the line, whether it's positive or negative. I appreciate the interaction, man, because we're blessed, man. We get to talk sports for a living. That's what we do. We watch Warriors games. We grew up watching it. We do it for free. And the fact that we're able to make a career of it has been awesome. So thank you to everybody, 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 including you, Bram, including you.
Do you ever drop a take? So I'm on a far lesser scale, but every now and again I'll get recognized. Someone will recognize my voice or something, and they'll ask me about the Warriors. And when they do, I feel immediately nervous. Like I feel like I better have something either funny, which is much harder.
Yeah,
Like I've got like 8 seconds. Let me try to make you smile,
right.
or some take about the Warriors that never comes out right. Do you do that, or I feel like you're probably better just kind of skipping through, like, hey, thanks, and then no take.
Uh, no, if they ask for a take, I'll give them a take. I'll give them a take. Just get their name, thank you, where you're from. Oh man, let's go. And it all depends, man. It's been going on for a while. It's really abnormal. Like the life that I live right now. It's just so strange that people will be yelling, Bonte, Bonte, what's up, man? Bonte. And I'm like, dude, I'm just a guy who talks smack for a living, about sports, but it really makes her day. A lot of great messages about people going through tough times and how me and Shasky and I were able to get them through their days, or whether it's this podcast and people are commenting saying we loved it, we loved the back and forth. Like that's what it's all about, man. It's putting a smile on people's face and do what we can in this world to try to make it a better place. And sports is a perfect outlet, right? It's the ultimate outlet. We get to geek out
Let's
like we were
go.
five all over again and talk stats and numbers and records and obsess over every single possession, offensively, defensively. So it's been fun to get all the support. And whenever you meet somebody, you thank them. I try to give them 30 seconds, 60 seconds. It's only 24 hours in a day, right? But you try to give everybody their moment and at least, hey, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shake their hands and, you know, and, and do what you got to do, man. But it's been fun, man. Dub Nation, there's nothing like Dub Nation.
I respect how high you're setting the fucking bar. I mean, I'm trying to do a lot of things on the show, but I'm not trying to make the world a better place. Good for you, dude. Like that's
I mean, doing my part, doing my
yeah,
part.
I mean,
I'm not
it's a
saying
lofty goal. I'm just
I'm not
impressed.
turning to Martin Luther King Jr. on you or
I'm
anything like
impressed
that,
with
man.
you.
But
That's all
I
I'm
play my
saying.
role. Steve? Let's not get that deep, dude. Come on,
I
man.
got a
I know it's
ton
Black
of
History Month.
a ton of questions for you. Then you can get back to making the world a better place. Before I hit you with Warrior stuff, quick All Star thing. So I know you were there. I know you guys got to experience it. I've never been to an All-Star game.
Surprised you didn't
First, I
go.
almost went back in 2000. I was in
Okay.
college in the area, didn't go. It cost too much money. And I've now spent 25 years regretting that because that's the Vince Carter fucking done. Like it would have been this whole thing. And then this year, the wife and I looked, we thought about it, came real close. And then again, it was a little expensive. So give me a sense. You're like, what's the vibe? What's an all-star game like?
See, I think if you're an NBA geek, and I know you are, an NBA geek, you had to be there no matter what.
Yep.
And I set the bar low for expectations. I didn't know what was going to happen. You think about the name, you want star power and like the slam dunk and the 3 point. You're kind of underwhelmed by
Yep.
the participants in both the 3 point, the skills, and the dunk contest. But it turned out to be awesome. Like the entire weekend was awesome. From the vibe of the city
Yep.
to everybody smiling and having fun with all the stars in town. And you heard about nothing negative happening. Like the city, the region put on. And then you get to Oracle Arena excuse me, Friday with the Rising Stars. And it's tough to get a full house at 5 o'clock in the Bay Area. We know
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
West Coast, wish it would get staggered the time a little bit, but it is what it is. But it was fun. It was fun to see the little Rising Stars and that team get the opportunity to play on a Sunday. Then you get to the skills competition Saturday night. But before that was media day at Oracle Arena,
Yep.
and it was packed. It felt like I was walking into a Western Conference semifinal playoff game or something. Man, it was legit, and the players are speaking glowingly of coming back to Oracle Arena and what it was like to play in Oakland and play against the Warriors, and obviously Steph getting his flowers and being an ambassador for the weekend. It was awesome, man. I had a great time. Whenever you get to run across the guys you read about growing up, Oscar Robertson,
Oh, sure.
Dr. J,
Yeah,
Julius
sure.
Irving. No, Allen Iverson's in the building. Shaq, Kenny, Chuck, they're in the building. Ernie Johnson, you name it. Every star of yesteryear coming over to the West Coast, to the Bay Area, uh, coming in here for the All-Star weekend, man. I always get the chills. You see the throwbacks, and I
Right.
thought, even outside of chasing it, when you're walking up through Thrive City, Bram,
Yep.
and they got the video board. So outside of that, they had, I don't know if it was like some 3D effects or holograms or whatnot, but it would play like a beat, and then a star will pop up. And then they start showing flashbacks. They'll show like a Jerry West, right? And then on the big screen, it'd be a Jerry West highlight from the All-Star game at the Great Western Forum
Shit.
in the old Western East jerseys, hitting the game winner, people being into it. You get Dominique Wilkins on the board. And it was just the visuals are awesome. So to have a big event in the Bay again, man, I had a great time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that was my second All-Star game. Last time I went to New York City. And I know I'm long-winded here, but let me get this out. Steph Curry being the ambassador of the
Yeah.
All-Star weekend.
Yes.
Throwing parties and kind of getting his flowers and winning the All-Star game MVP, the Kobe Bryant Award. It's crazy because a decade ago, he's in New York City alongside Klay Thompson. It's the first pair of Warrior teammates to go to the All-Star game since like the 70s. And
Good knowledge.
there's Klay and Steph. And I remember that was my first All-Star game I covered. I was at Cambiar at the time. I was just looking for anything. I was working a graveyard shift, running Giants replays. So I asked for a credential. Jen Violet, who's the assistant program director and a producer for Tolbert, was like, go ahead, go. Raymond Ritter knows you're coming. I got a question with everybody. And I remember walking out by Times Square as a Warrior fan. You grew up a Warrior fan. The Warrior fans know this. There was Steph Curry in the middle of Times Square with this big ass billboard. And I'm thinking, that's Steph Curry. But not only is it Steph Curry, that's a Golden State
Yes.
Warrior
Hell
in
yes.
Times Square with the billboard. And think back to that time. That was a few months before they would secure their first
Yep.
championship since 75 and Steph's first ring. And that was his first MVP season to where we are basically 10 years later. Not
Incredible
knowing,
juxtaposition. Yes.
yeah, not knowing what was coming, just knowing that, wait a minute, that's a member of the Golden State Warriors in the middle of Times Square. This Klay Thompson is an all-star. What is going on with the Warriors? Good things are happening. But I didn't think what would happen over the next decade would transpire, right? 4 championships, 2 MVP awards. Kevin Durant becomes a member of the Golden
Right.
State
Exactly right.
Warriors. They become the supervillains. Klay Thompson leaves. They win a fourth. I mean, Andrew Wiggins is a Warrior. It's insane to think about what happened from that time frame out in New York City to where we are today. And it was a full circle moment for not only I think Steph Curry for the Warriors, but I kind of looked at my career like that too. It's like thinking I was just looking for an opportunity. And here I am 10 years later, and completely different position than I was a decade ago. So all those feelings kind of started floating in my dome. And I was like, man, yeah, this was an awesome weekend. It kind of brought a lot of things into perspective.
That's literally the word I was just about to throw out there. Is what you're adding is perspective, and what you're adding it for me is all the people. I mean, recently, before Jimmy Butler was
Right.
added into the mix, and before the optimism caught back in, one of the kind of in vogue things for new Warrior fans was to take shots at Joe Lacob. And you
Yep.
know, he's a shitty owner, and why is he engaging in this? And he's ruining Steph's legacy, all this shit. The story you just told illustrates why it's ridiculous criticism that we've
Yeah.
gone from this place where we were so excited. I mean, so excited to have one person in the All-Star game to a place now where he's hosting the All-Star game in a building
Wow.
essentially that they built post 4 championships and a full fucking dynasty. You know, so no, that is a fantastic point, and I'll use it as this springboard. I got to fuck you. I've been wanting to add to All Star Week, and I'll add it here. Fuck you to the ref who called the 8 second violation on Steph Curry.
Uh,
I mean, it's just the most. You're not going to call an 8 second violation anyways. Never, at no point in
right.
an All Star game. That doesn't happen. But then that's when you do it when the fucking host of the All Star game is coming up, when he's culminating this huge moment. So fuck you to him. And I was going to throw this question out later, and let me ask him now. So Steph gets an MVP All Star, and it's his second. But he's got this really long list of accolades. You know, his resume is unbelievable. What does this do? Is an all-star MVP mean anything? You know, like, does this add to his legacy, or is it just kind of, you know, icing? It doesn't really have anything substantive.
Nah, when you look at the resume, it adds to it. It's icing on the cake. Think about this. When you join categories with Michael Jordan and Will Chamberlain or LeBron James, that means something.
Yep.
So Steph has 4 championships, 2 scoring titles, 2 MVPs, 2 All-Star Game MVPs, a Finals MVP. Well, the only other player in NBA history with at least 2 of each
Yep.
is Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yep.
So when you start accomplishing things that Michael Jeffrey Jordan
That's real
did,
deal. Yeah,
it means something. It kind of means it's kind of a big deal because like 15 years later, we're going to be drunk one night at a house party, or we're going to have a little too
throwing it
much
out.
sip, and we're going to be bored, and we're going to just start looking up box scores. We're going to be looking at basketball reference, and one day Brand's going to yell or try to text me like, you know, Steph had like 4 championships, 2 scoring titles, 2 MVPs, 2 All-Star Game MVPs. Like Jordan was the only other one. Like you're going to be arguing
Facts.
about his greatness for so many years. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal in my opinion.
I love
No
it. New format. What'd you think? The tournament, did it land for you? Did you like it? What's the
I
review?
liked it. I actually did like it. However, I didn't like the fact that we had so many breaks in the action, right? That's got to change. Just play it through. And first of all, they made a mistake of bringing Kevin Hart along. Nobody asked for Kevin Hart. I would have just settled for Ernie, Chuck, Shaq. Like to me, Kevin Hart hasn't been funny in 10 years. I like the guy. I'm not knocking this hustle whatsoever. I don't think he's been that funny for a long time. So him interjecting in the game, the in-house announcer, the in-arena announcer too is doing a lot as well. The PA
Yep.
announcer, I think he came over from the Brooklyn Nets. It was a little much. The first game was very competitive.
Yep.
And when you get a guy like Wemby playing hard and guys following along him, it gives me hope that the All-Star game can return to a place to where we see some competitive basketball, at least for a quarter and a half.
Yep.
The breaks in action really took the steam away. Really took the steam away. If you're going to do that many breaks in between games, give me a dunk contest then
Oh yeah.
in between it. Give me a skills competition in between it. You know, a team that won a game shouldn't have to wait an hour, and the games are so fast because you never gotta get hot. You get to 40 real quick. One player could do that. So either do that because I'm not mad at the format, or just go back to the game and play hard. But what happened to that? We had no problem with that up until what, 03, 04, and then things start getting crazy.
You nailed both sides for me. So that first game, or not first game, when Steph played the Rising Stars, when those two played, Bonta, I cared. I wanted
Yeah.
Steph to win that game. I genuinely wanted them to win. Did not want to see them lose to the young guys. And I have been watching the All-Star game for decades. You know what I've never done? Cared who'd won. Never. I didn't like the outcome never meant shit to me. So
Right.
mission accomplished, dude. Like
Right.
I suddenly cared.
That's a good point.
Okay,
You never
but
really care. Like you may root for a player or something, but no.
you want to see a highlight, but it's
Maybe
not. I'm
West,
not.
yeah.
I was
no,
nervous. Like I was
Nope.
nervous when they didn't close it out and they started shooting threes for no reason. They had my interest. So again, congratulations. But those fucking breaks, man. And I'll take it a step further. The only thing worse than unnecessary breaks are unnecessary, unexpected breaks. commercials when I'm watching ABC. They're annoying, but like, look, that's part of network television. I know.
Right.
Commercials that pop up on my Amazon Prime drive me crazy because I'm expecting it to go through. Having, this game starts up and then there's this break out of nowhere and it
Yeah.
lasts forever. These unexpected breaks, they destroyed the thing they were trying to create. You've got my interest. Why do you keep slowing it down? So I'm ready to bang that format,
Yeah.
and I hope that they've talked them into trying. That people
Yeah,
care.
just play hard. Just play hard. That's all. That's all. That's all they did in the 90s. They didn't give you 100%, but hey, just give a little effort, man.
Yeah,
Stand in front of somebody, pass the ball around. Let's not, if you want to shoot from half court, great. But, you know, Team USA versus Team World, well, let's do it then. If you want to
didn't
do that, then do it.
they would if we had a shot. If we thought that we could beat the world right now, I guarantee you they would have said yes, no problem. But I'm not sure we want to see Wembanyama and fucking Jokic and
Hey,
SGA.
man,
Like I
make
don't
it
know if we
happen.
win that game.
Man, you got to make it happen. I think if it makes it'll make folks in the US raise their game up too.
That's true.
You
No,
get back to, you know what I'm saying? Like
it'll
step your
raise the
game
floor. It'll
You
raise the
know,
floor.
like you want the world take it over the game saying it's our game now, or show some pride. I think we need to go to Team USA versus Team World. Like especially what happened in the NHL with the four nations.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It turned out to be great.
Yeah, I'll care. I just think they're worried about possibly losing. All right, Warrior stuff. So we didn't get through the All Star break. Unscathed is the wrong phrase. We did get some Draymond heat. All right. So our golden questions is our mailbag. People write in, give us questions. They always have to do with the Warriors. Occasionally get personal. This one has to do with Draymond, and he asks, "What do you guys think about Draymond's comments over the weekend?" So before I turn that question into something else, let me play you those comments. Here is Draymond Green on TNT.
Get your first crack. Which one do you want to talk about?
Jimmy Butler, the third.
Okay. How has it been so far?
It's been incredible. He's brought a purpose back to this organization. I think, we were kind of headed in the wrong direction, thinking we figured it out and never figuring it out this year, throughout the course of this year. And since he's been here, we've walked into every game thinking and believing that we're going to win that game. And that goes a long way in this league. When you walk in the game like, man, we probably going to lose this game, it's not good. And so he's brought back that belief, and I think we're going to win the championship.
Say that one more time so that everybody here can
say that with your chest.
I didn't hear you. My earpiece.
Because they added Jimmy Butler the third, so what did you say?
81?
I'm sorry. I said I think we're going to win a championship, but I lied. We are going to win the championship.
Wow. All right, so a championship guaranteed from your boy Draymond Green. I got a lot of follow-up questions. Let me start here. Not guaranteed championship, not championship favorites. Do you view this team as contenders? I haven't talked to you since the Jimmy Butler edition. So, how does this comment land for you?
Yeah, look, Draymond's guaranteed championships before. It's not as big of a deal to me as it is to everybody else, although it did spark my interest in the final 27 games. Obviously, yep. I'm heavily invested, and I'm a lot more intrigued now because there's some swagger now. There's some trash talk coming out of this camp, and all right, let's see it. We're going to see it in this first game back post All-Star break against the Sacramento Kings, and the Warriors right now 0 for California. They haven't beat the Lakers, Clippers, or Kings this season. Combined 0 for 8. So
I hate that phrase. Don't say that anymore.
0 for California, man. I mean, dropping on TV too. So do I view them as contenders? No, I can't do that yet, especially when they're 28 and 27. Yeah. And we have to see it with Jonathan Kuminga. That's the final piece. We have to see how it looks with Jonathan Kuminga in the lineup next to Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, Draymond Green. So I'm not ready to go that route yet with the team that's in 10th place. But there are some matchups they could take advantage of in the Western Conference playoffs. Yeah, so
right.
We'll see what happens. I think it's more of a matchup-based league now. When you get into the playoffs, home court, okay, yeah, that matters a little bit, but who are you matched up with? And can you take advantage of that matchup each and every night? So I'm not ready to go there yet with the championship contender. It's a little far-fetched for me.
I like that. I mean, rewind this 30 days ago. Jimmy Butler, he says this, laughing stock. There's nothing we could say. It's not a conversation.
He wouldn't say it, Brad. He
No,
wouldn't say it. They
not.
were saying like we're not mortgaging the future right now.
Exactly.
That was
That's
the
exactly
tone. That was
right.
the tenor of the conversation.
And so the most optimistic thing we can say now is that, well, I can squint. We've got that fuck you competitive attitude. And so for as long as that's true, no one really wants to see us. So like, are we puncher's chance contenders? Sure. Should we be guaranteeing championships? Maybe not. But it leads to this. What's a successful season this year, Bonta? So what has to happen from here? You and we did say 50 wins, and I believed in it. And
Did I say 52?
I may have said
50?
that. Yeah, I may have said that. I'm not gonna. So no more guarantees on wins.
Yeah.
What needs to happen? Do they need to make a 7-game series? Is just making the play-in this year enough? Like what are we hoping for?
No, I think this organization wants a crack at a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they have a chance against everybody. That's the belief within those hallways down there at Chase Center. They believe that they could beat anybody in the Western Conference. That's how they believe. I need to see them get healthy first and foremost. Because when you get these guards out here in the Western Conference, Kyrie and Dame, you saw Dame drop 38. You saw Kyrie with the 42. Now, Dame had 10 turnovers, but these point guards are getting to the paint at will here and breaking down the defense. And Kobe White was balling with Chicago when they were up 24 in Jimmy Butler's first game as a member of the Golden State Warriors. So I need to see them at the point of attack defensively with JK. I know Jimmy's going to do a lot as well. So I want to see it there. What is successful? What is a success? If they get to the second round and push somebody for 7 games, I would deem that as successful considering where the season is gone and considering what they've done. And then the optimism going into next year where you feel like you're a player or two away and you still have the assets. Now all of a sudden I'm feeling really good. So can you get to the second round? There's a belief that they could get the 6th seed. But they're 4 games behind the Clippers in the loss column. And obviously the Clippers had that tiebreaker. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think second round, pushing somebody to 6 or 7 games in the second round, to me, that would be successful for this season. Considering and Steph's playing hurt, Draymond's playing hurt, so they have an older team, Bram.
And they reset the luxury tax so they can go after something this offseason. What you said right there is triggering for me. And I'll link this back to a positive thing about Draymond saying that they can contend for a championship. What I want to have this year is some moment, something that happens that screams to the rest of the NBA, oh, they're back. That whoever it is, some free agent next year, some older player who still has something left, sees what's going on in Golden State and thinks, oh, yep, I'd like to join Steph for one more run. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a really spirited first round loss. I don't know if it's a showing in the second round. I don't know even if it's just Draymond coming out and being like, oh, we're winning a fucking champion, like that kind of thing, that show of bravado. But that's what I hope. I hope that they can show the league, take us serious again, and that it brings somebody else back in.
Well, it feels like they need to go over these next 27, about 20-7.
Mm-hmm.
Can they go 20-7 over the final 27? Because obviously 20 wins get you to 48. 7 losses get you to 30. What is that, 34?
Yep.
So,
you're
like 28-27 right now. So 48-34, you're putting yourself in a conversation for that 6th seed. That would be, man, if you can go 20-7, 19-8 at worst, 47-win season, not bad considering you've had 33 different starting lineups.
Love that. And if they can play consistent, not that record. Yes, absolutely. But then also don't have all of those losses we had to start the year with Jimmy Butler. Like those losses against the Utahs of the world and the ones where they just don't come out serious. I like that a lot. Have you ever made a prediction like that? Have you ever come out, like in some public setting when you're a part of a team or even just personally and told the world this is what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm sure I have. I've talked. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Have you really? Like
the
what?
Reds
like
are done. I was like, I guarantee you, the Reds are cooked, and they went on to win the Super Bowl.
No.
3 months later.
No. That's not what I mean. I don't mean, of course, you do that for a living. Sports takes. I've had you make a million predictions on this show. Right. I mean, in a professional scene. So Draymond's on a team.
Oh, like on television.
And he comes out and says, this person of this team I'm a part of, we're going to win it all. And now his teammates and everyone he works with, the expectations go up. Have you ever done anything like that on either a team or a professional setting? Because I have not, dude. I'm so worried about jinxing. I never say anything.
I wasn't good enough to talk that talk. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew somebody else was going to have to carry my weight. That's not fair to that person. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in debt to that person and praying that they come through for me to make me look good. So no, hell no, I wasn't good enough to say nothing like that. Now Draymond Green's in a different landscape because he's going into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he can say he's got 4 rings. He can say
he's
that.
earned the right. Is anyone else on Golden State good? I mean, outside of Steph, could anyone else do that and then have it be acceptable? Butler hasn't been here long enough.
But I think fans will accept Butler.
I don't think he's been here
I
long enough.
I think fans are going to eat. They're going to be eating out of Butler's palms in a second.
Yeah.
Other than Steph,
I
can
see Lacob doing it.
Maybe Looney.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Maybe Loon Dog.
Yeah.
Loon Dog gets all the respect in the world.
Yeah, I like that. And he's
But
been
anybody
here long
else?
enough,
Steve Kerr can't even say it.
Yeah.
Joe Lacob can't. Like with this fan base right now. I mean, you see what's going on Twitter, dude? They got Joe Lacob's face in a clown wig and nose and everything. I'm like, man, bad owner. I just watched 2 teams lead this region due to bad ownership. This guy's paid over $600 million in luxury tax. Are you kidding me?
$1 billion. $1 billion. He built us a fucking arena. Yeah, yes, I'm not even going to jump down that rabbit hole. Last question for you, Kuminga. What are your expectations? Does he fit in seamlessly? Is this Butler thing a really good thing for him? What do we see now that he comes back?
He is the ultimate X factor. He is playing so well before he got injured. So well. Probably best basketball of his career. And we've seen these stretches. Like, to me, it was nothing new. Because the previous year, remember after Jokic hit that 3-point winning shot from like 35 feet or whatnot?
Yeah.
And the article came out that Kuminga's had it with Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
He didn't play the final 18 minutes of that basketball game. And from that point on, he averaged damn near 20 a game.
Yeah.
Shot at a high clip from the field. Started to get better at rebounding, started to get better individually, but you saw the talent there. The year before that, when Andrew Wiggins had to lead the team for a couple months due to personal reasons, JK helped stabilize some things, started averaging about 12, 13, 14 a game in limited action. So you hope that he comes back seamlessly. He hasn't played ball, he's missed 21 games now. He was coming into his own. He is the X factor. If he could come back and pick up where he left off and build off of that while playing alongside Jimmy, while playing alongside Draymond Green, while attacking the rim with reckless abandon and not settling for the 3-point shot as he was doing before he got injured, he's going to put himself in line for a lot of money.
Yes, that's exactly right.
For a lot of money. He's the ultimate X factor. He may have the most pressure on him. He may have the most to gain. I mean, these last 27 or whenever he comes back, which could be in a couple games here, in those final, 23, 24, maybe 22 games, it is imperative that JK plays his best basketball because a lot of good things could happen for him and this basketball team. So he's got all the talent in the world, Bram. He really does.
And he's going to be put in a position to succeed again. Butler's addition, there's all these upsides to it,
Yeah.
And one of the things I like is that it shifted people back into the roles where they can succeed. Pajemski's a good example. Pajemski spends that pre-period before he got hurt trying to be a scorer. And as a result, he's doing all these things he doesn't feel comfortable with. We turn on him and his reputation changes. Then Butler comes. We don't need Pajemski to be a second scorer. And now he's doing all of those podsy things, taking charges, running out of or jumping out of bounds, all that shit. And we love him again. I think the same thing's going to happen for Kuminga. I think that when he comes in on this Butler team, we're not going to be asking him to make the right read constantly or be our lead rebounder or, make all these decisions. We're going to ask him to use your athleticism and go to the fucking rim. Just be a scorer, just do the thing that comes naturally to you. And I think we're going to see a lot of success, man. I am cautiously optimistic for, you know what? I'm guaranteeing a championship, Bonta. It's happening. Let's go.
No, I am fired up for these last 27, man. And you make a great point with Jimmy Butler. Everybody slots into their roles. All of a sudden, Pods, since he's returned from his injury, you look at his numbers here. He's shooting nearly 50% from the floor, nearly 40% from three. He's giving you a little triple-double lights here, man. A little 13 here, 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Moses Moody, double figures, 13 of his final 15 going into the break. I mean, he's starting to figure it out. Buddy Hield was having an okay road trip. He started to show signs of busting out of that slump. But now he goes back to his role off the bench, with the second unit. So I do like where they're at right now. Kevin Knox, they signed from Santa Cruz. Let's see what happens, man. But I'm fired up, man. I really am. This is a stretch drive, especially coming off that All-Star break.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
right.
emphasize enough how well the Bay Area did representing itself.
Yep.
Everybody did great, man, and doing their part and making All-Star Weekend a success here in the Bay Area. And then you get basketball to stretch drive to the playoffs. Oh, Bram injected into my veins, man. Hoops, baby. Let's go. We got guaranteed championships. Jimmy Buckets is bringing his coffee machine out here. JK's coming back. Fezzi will be yelling, Eric, I know. Steph still has something to prove. Come on, Bram. Let's
That's
go.
right. I forgot to give props to my home city, to Oakland, right? So they had the All-Star practice in Oakland.
Media
They
day,
brought it back to Oakland.
practice. Yeah.
And a friend of mine went and brought his daughter, and I was asking him about it. And he said that Oakland booed the fuck out of Harden and Kyrie during the practice, which makes me love my home city like that. That makes me so happy that happened. That someone's like, you know what? Fuck them. I'm going to go ahead and give them all the booze I can handle. Bonta, missed you, man. It's phenomenal doing this with you again. It's been an absolute pleasure watching your career take off. I'm not surprised. For people who need way more Bonta Hill in their life, where should they go?
Well, again, follow at your own risk on Twitter at Bonta Hill, BontaHill. A lot of stuff on NBC. Go to YouTube, NBC Sports Bay Area, Warriors Now. Also, the Dubs Talk podcast with Monty Poole. We've been cracking those out. It's been a lot of fun talking to the OG. The OG's optimistic as well, Monty Poole. He
Hey,
thinks
all
this team
right.
can get a 6 seed. He's feeling it. He broke it down in 3 tiers: great wins, good wins, painful losses. Like, he's ready to roll. So the
Let's
Dubs Talk
go.
podcast. Find that wherever you get your podcast now with Monty Poole. Also, still joining the morning roast. Got to show love to my boys on the morning roast once a week, every Friday from 9 to 10. Shasky and Spadoni doing a hell of a job of carrying on the roast, and it's not losing any steam there. So, 95.7 The Game, NBC Sports Bay Area. I'm around, Bram. I'm around. Getting a little more sleep these days too. So,
You know where to find us. With that in mind, go Warriors. And hopefully we'll be celebrating a championship soon enough.